welcome to Something for the Weekend with me, Kathy Griffiths.
Me, Fiona Scott.
Me, Alex Butcher.
And me, Stephen Day.
Hurrah! It's
Good
the team.
morning.
Hello.
It's the A-Team. Anyone know the theme tune?
Yes, but we're the only team, really, aren't we, Kathy?
Oh, yeah, okay. Come on, I'm firing myself up for the weekend. Talking of fires. Is anyone else feeling that nip in the air?
Well, since about October, yeah.
That is softy.
Oh, yeah.
I've definitely noticed a nip in the air. So I'm trying to build on my fire building skills. And I've got a question for anyone who's got a live fire out there. Jenga method or teepee?
How to build your fire, whether it's...
Yeah.
So the teepee is, you set up a little triangle and then...
Or wigwam.
Or wigwam is probably more accurate. And Jenga is where you just stack it all up together, is it?
Well, like two one way, then two on top the other way, and build a little tower and then stuff your fire starter thing in the middle.
I just switch it on at the wall, to be honest.
Okay, all right, moving on.
I just put a firelighter in and a couple of logs and it's off.
I mean, I'm glad you mentioned firelighter, Fee, because I thought this was going to be a segment about how to build a fire properly, as I was once told, without firelighters. Apparently, that's how you build it, with kindling and little bits and pieces. And you don't use firelighters. To be honest, life is just too short.
I know. Why? They're there. Use them.
Yeah.
My mum used to sit for ages making paper sticks.
Yeah.
Paper sticks.
Oh, are those the ones you sort of pleat? You sort of like a long, you sort of keep folding, a long strip, and then you fold it over each other, so it's a little concertina-like.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, but that's quite therapeutic.
It took her forever because she used old newspapers, but she'd forgotten what was in them, and she'd start reading a piece in the paper, and we were sitting with frostbite, and no.
Another way of recycling your OTs when you've had a good read and you've enjoyed what you've read. Turn them into firelighters. There we are. You see, we're here to help. We're here in service to the community.
Come on, baby, light my fire.
On that note, when we changed from broadsheet to tabloid, a lot of papers done it. I was working in the Borders at the time, and we done a survey to ask what people thought about it. And a lot of people said they'd missed the broadsheet because they used it to light their fire with.
Oh, thanks.
Ultimate recycling. And here's another...
All that hard work we put in.
And here's another tip with newspapers. Newspapers are universally useful. If you have a wood-burning stove and the glass gets all marked and black, newspapers and a wee bit of spit and rub it onto the glass and just keep going, and that will return it to its former glory. Takes a bit of elbow grease, but you don't need any chemicals or anything.
Stevie,
that's socially distanced spit.
Well, it's obviously your own.
Stevie, I've got a better one than that, and this is amazing. I couldn't believe it. A damp cloth, just dampen your cloth a wee bit, dip it in the ash, and then wipe your glass door with it, and it's like magic.
I'm going to try that.
Oh, no idea. Let me know how you get on, because it's like I'm obsessed by it now, because I can't believe you can clean your fire with ash.
I think I'm going to have to go now, so I'll just leave the rest of you to do that. I'm off to try that out.
Now, Fiona, you've been chatting to a couple, haven't you, about a little bit of a transformation thing going on. Do you want to explain what all this is about?
Haven't I? Well, we all know Oban FM's Campbell Cameron and his lovely wife, Joy, who's very active in and around Benderloch, amongst other things. She does the Bookends Festival. I usually have quite a lot to do with Campbell and Joy throughout a working year, but because it's been locked down this year, I haven't seen them as much. And I bumped into them, I think it was October, and almost walked past them. They've disappeared. They've both been on fasting diets, which they've assured me means they aren't starving themselves. They're just going on a healthy eating regime, and there's been some amazing results there. So I met up with them to have a chat, and they told me a little bit more about it. Oh, hello, Joy and Campbell Cameron.
How are you?
Hello, great.
Fit late.
It's great to see you both, but there's not as much of you to see now.
No, that's very true.
What's happened to you?
It was just a minor miracle with COVID, you know.
I hope you weren't ill, Campbell.
No, quite the opposite actually. Quite the opposite, thankfully. Somebody says, what did you do during COVID? Well, I managed to lose 4 stone, so that's quite good.
Over 4 stone
Over
now.
4 stone. Well, it's bobbed a wee bit, but we'll say 4 stone for round figures.
I mean, that's just amazing. That's a huge amount of weight. If you felt good doing it, is it?
It's a funny thing. I do feel good now, I have to say. I didn't really notice it at the time, but I am much more bendy than I was previously. I wasn't...
Is this true?
Quite, yeah, absolutely. Just moved 2 tons of wood into the house the other day and never back to an island.
No, it's true. And thinking back, I would have rested 2 or 3 times probably doing that kind of job. But no, it's been fine. And it's kind of like we've spoken to 1 or 2 folk about. It's a wee bit like doing anything that you take on. It's just changing your mind. It's altering the way you set your mind, or setting your mind to do it. And also, I have to say, a lot of help and encouragement, particularly from Lindsay Dodman at Connel Surgery, Connel base. That's where I see Lindsay. She's been encouraging me, probably a good word, over a period of time
Cracking the whip.
that I really needed to do something, and ultimately the diagnosis, a type 2 diabetes diagnosis, which I think I went into denial about, to be honest.
Ever so slightly.
No, that'll be fine. But eventually, actually, the thing that tipped us off was my daughter pointed us to a book. And she pointed us to the book because her man Ken had just been headhunted to look at resetting diabetes for this company that he's working with, Reset Health. And they were quite interested. They became interested in what I had done because we picked up the 16-8 diet from, some people call it a keto diet, that sort of thing. But basically cut out carbs, high protein, low carbohydrate. And 16-8 is basically just eat normally but don't have breakfast, drink lots of water, drink plenty of coffee. That's no hardship to me. So I immediately lost weight simply by cutting out bread, potatoes, rice, that sort of thing, which wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. Yeah. Red wine, a wee bit trickier, but we made it. And after, I think, the first month, a glass of wine with your food was okay, or a glass of red wine to be fair. So really not a great deal of hardship, and the weight just falls off. It's quite remarkable.
I saw a huge difference. I just seen you the other week for the first time since lockdown, and I noticed a massive difference. And Joy, you've been joining in
yes,
as
I haven't
well.
lost that much, but then I didn't have that much to lose. But we're both down a dress size, aren't we, dear?
Oh, I'll tell you. Well, I've
He's down several dress
gone
sizes.
from a 4X to a 2X.
In shirts,
In shirts.
And they're still big.
And being an optimist, as you know, I've always been a kind of constant
Definitely,
thinking.
Campbell.
I used to buy shirts thinking I'll get into that shop.
So we don't
And
even
they've
need
been
a
in the
new
cupboard for
wardrobe.
years.
It's there.
But here we are, I haven't had to go out and buy it. I said, right, that one, bring that out, try that. Oh God, I fit these trousers. Remarkable. So it's been good.
Yeah, well, you're both looking great. It's a shame you can't go out and dress up and all your nice
do that at home, though.
I've been really disappointed that the Olympics didn't happen this year, because I would have been there, obviously, So we'll have to see about that, right enough, getting out on the bike and that sort of thing. But actually, that's been an interesting thing. Dr. David Wong, who was one of our big helpers there, I was asking him about exercise, and he said, exercise in this is not that vital. Keep moving, for goodness sake, yes, for all the rest of it, and keeping your heart right and all that sort of thing, but it's not. Usually when you're trying to lose weight, it's big exercise, and it's long walks and all that kind of stuff. And he says, actually it is not necessarily positive in this particular thing. And, apart from a wee run out on the bike every so often down to Craignuke.
And bringing 2 tons of wood into the house.
Well, a wee bit more gardening perhaps, maybe a bit of that, moving a bit of wood about, chopping a bit of wood, that sort of thing. It's the kind of stuff that you probably should be doing anyway.
Yeah.
Who does the cooking in your house?
Oh,
most of it?
David, Dr. David thinks that this is a miracle worker to my left
I keep
here.
getting these phone calls from London saying, your recipes are wonderful. I'm thinking, well, that's actually something that Campbell made. We both do it.
Have you managed to come up with some new ideas for this new eating regime?
The quiche is big success last
corned
night.
Beef quiche, that was amazing. No pastry, but using sliced corned beef, and said, who would have thought that could make such a tasty pastry?
Good.
And we're buying all the local stuff. We've got such good food locally. All the local meats and
Thank goodness for Go Naked Veg and Taste for Argyll and the Great British Food Hub and all these kind of things, and most famously the world famous Pink Shop.
And I'll tell you something else, our food bill is crashed.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. We don't want to use any trade names, but Pringles must be nearly shutting their factory because we're not going there anymore.
So be honest, if there was something that you miss more than anything else, and somebody could say, well, you can have this as a treat, what would you want, Campbell?
Well, now we've done it, a bacon roll. I mean, that was the big thing, I suppose, for the 12 weeks that I had my focus on. Once we get this sorted, I'm going to have a bacon roll. And we raided Connell shop, and Sandra got us all chefed up with a square sausage and a bacon roll. And that
was heaven.
Must be like that for the vegans, I suppose, They say that's the biggest killer for vegetarianism is the bacon roll. People are always tempted by.
But the vegans can have what I love occasionally, an Empire biscuit. There's nothing like a homemade Empire biscuit. But the beauty of doing this is that it resets your taste buds, most definitely. That's us been going now since, 9 months or something. Really and truly, it doesn't feel like that long. Yeah, well, it is, because we've gone from... we started at the beginning of the year, just before lockdown.
Maybe we did cut down a wee bit in February, right enough.
But now, an Empire biscuit's lovely, but I don't need 3 anymore. I used to eat one, and then you immediately used to think, where's that gone? But actually, I can take 20 minutes of an Empire biscuit, and it's a real treat. Occasionally.
Oh, well, very well done both, and you're looking all the better for it. Not that you could improve on perfection, but...
That's lovely, you say.
Thank you, dear.
Still a wee bit to go. I'm aiming for a wee bit more. Right. So we had a wee holiday last week, and a few treats in there, I have to say. But now focused again, and today,
Well, don't lose too much, Campbell, because we can see you coming quite clearly just now.
It's all right.
We wouldn't like you to float past us and not notice.
The beard will make up for it. The lockdown beard will make up for it.
Thank you very much, both.
Thank you.
Yeah, so well done, Campbell and Joy.
Absolutely. That's fantastic.
4 stone during lockdown.
I can't wait to see them.
I wanted to send me a piece of this quiche. Made of corned beef instead of pastry. Yeah.
The majority of people...
I love corned beef.
The majority of people
Go on, what are you going to say?
would probably say that they put weight on, wouldn't they?
Yeah, well, I definitely did.
Tough times, and now it's winter and dark nights, and cake just calls, doesn't it?
It's the comfort food, isn't it? It's the I've had a hard day. I'll have a biscuit, and I'll maybe have 2 biscuits and 3. Well, that's half the packet.
Yeah, I think you need to go.
Soup is the way forward.
Go and re-interview them in January and see if they've managed to keep it off after Christmas. Sorry, we're going into the wrong time of year.
He's so mean. He's so mean. Oh. Now, Fiona, have you got something musical for us as well?
Yes, don't worry.
Some music?
Don't worry, people. I'm not going to sing. I'll spare you that one.
Oh, Fiona.
Can we get your ukulele out?
Come on, baby, light my fire.
What have you got?
I'd much rather let Neil Armstrong do it. Neil was brought up in Connel and is now living in Spain, but he keeps in touch with the paper and has recently brought out a new album called Nearly Life, and he's going to tell us a bit about it.
Hello, Something for the Weekend team. My name's Neil Armstrong, and although I live and work near Gibraltar in Andalusia, I was born in Oban and lived in Connell for many years, where my parents Mac and Katie were GPs. A warm welcome to all your listeners, and thanks for having me on this week. I do hope you're all safe and well in these strangest of days. I've been thinking a lot about what home means to me recently. My wife Miriam and I recently bought a house here in Spain for our young family to call home, as we now consider this distant shore our own, our place to make a stand, to grow up, grow old, and live life to the full. But my heart is very much in the Highlands, despite the fact that our family moved away a couple of years ago, and my mind often takes me walking in the hills behind Connel to the Black Lochs, to the views of Mull, Cruachan, and the shores of Loch Etive, and the roar of the Falls of Laura. Be you expat or Scottish resident, in these days of COVID travel restrictions, families near and far are unable to travel to be with each other for the high days, the holidays, and the life celebrations that have come and gone over the last year. And so, with all of those longing for home, whatever that may be, in mind, I've written and recorded a song which I'd like to share with you. This song is under production for release on my second album, in collaboration with lyricist David Will Mitchell. If you'd like more information on our musical escapades, then have a look at my website, www.strongtunes.com. I hope you like the music, and here's hoping that all of us make it home one day very soon. I'm going home. I've been dreaming of this day since before I went away. I'm going home. Put out the yellow rigging, it's a new beginning. My love, I've been away all too long. I've sailed the 7 seas, but I was not content with the 5 continents. The heat of Zanzibar to the plains of Ulaanbaatar, over the sea, back to my family. Well, I'm going home, and that's how it's gonna be. All the hopes I've left behind, and the treasures I'd hoped to find. What will they think of this prodigal son? My friends, I've been away all too long. Nothing seems to stick like hurt when you're down in the dirt. But I believe it isn't hard to leave this broken landscape of my dreams. Over the sea, back to my family. I'm going home, and that's how it's gonna be. Prodigal me, back to my family. I'm going home, and that's how it's gonna be. First kiss of the new morning, it keeps me learning. No mistake, I have been warned. Broken promises, ancestral voices of the probable storm. This patchwork Eden is at an end. I'm in the dark without a friend. And suddenly I see my family. Tears in their souls come to greet me. I've sailed the 7 seas, but I was not content with the 5 continents. The heat of Zanzibar to the plains of Ulaanbaatar, over the sea, back to my family. I'm going home, and that's where I'm gonna be. Prodigal me, back to my family. I'm going home, and that's how it's gonna be.
Wow.
I liked that.
Wasn't it? Yeah. Honestly, Kathy, the first time I heard that, I actually felt a bit teary.
It just made me want to wave my hands in. I was
were waving your hands in the air.
We saw you waving in the background.
Do you know, it actually reminded me.
That was fabulous.
A wee bit, and I hope I'm not insulting anyone here because I actually like this artist, a wee bit of Krista Berg there.
Right?
Yeah, I can hear that.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
And, you know, a lot of people remember Krista Berg for Lady in Red, but there was so much more that he did. I mean, to be fair, there was some pretty weird stuff he did, but there was some really, really nice stuff that nobody really has heard of or listens to.
Yeah.
I remember rushing out to buy a red dress after that. I thought I'm gonna get a red dress so I can be Lady in Red.
Okay.
There you go. Just thought I'd share that.
I just went right up him after the spaceman came travelling. I
like that.
It.
That's one of my favourite Christmassy songs.
It's my least favourite. It must be a Marmite song, that, Kathy.
Oh wow.
Anyway, that was great. I'd never heard Neil sing before. It was all new to me, but I really, really enjoyed that.
Well, Neil was classically trained, and he's went on to what he calls it's kind of soft pop. He calls it, although I would label it pop. But yeah, it was lovely. I really enjoyed that.
Well, folks, it is the weekend. Almost, and there's quite a few events happening. Guess where I'm going tomorrow? I'm going on a journey. I'm going on a voyage, a sea voyage.
You're not swimming again, Kathy, are you?
I'm not. I'm going to swim all the way to Mull.
Are you going to need a bigger boat, Kathy?
What are you saying, Stevie? That's it. I'm on to Campbell's diet. That's it.
It was a movie quote. You said you were off on a voyage. Famous movie quote.
I thought you were being mean, Stevie, but that's not in your lovely nature. So anyway, I'm off to Tobermory. They've got a Christmas shopping weekend, and it's all going to be socially distanced. But there's going to be a few stalls outside the shops on the main drag in Tobermory. So I'm really looking forward to that because I haven't been over to Mull all this year because I've been good and I've sort of, respected the island and all that kind of thing. And you know what? I'm going to put my mask on, take my hand sanitizer, and I'm going to have a jolly good day out. So I'm really looking forward to that. So that's on tomorrow. The R&L are going to have a pop-up shop outside the Sea Kayak place in town. That is, someone remind me of the street.
It's Argyle Street, and I think they'll be inside the Sea Kayak. Oban kindly offered their premises because the pop-up shop's been cancelled the last couple of times they've tried to attempt it. So they're going inside, so they'll be in the Sea Kayak Oban from 10 till 6 p.m. on Saturday.
There we go. We can buy our souvenirs and those tea towels that Ellis recommended the other week.
Ellis will be right along there.
And of course, we've got St Andrew's Day coming up. Now, I know that Oban Link Club is doing something for its members. They're going to have a Zoom meeting, but they're also going to prepare some traditional St Andrew's food and deliver it to the doors so they can munch on that while they take part in Zoom. So that's next week. And something else illuminating for us, Fee, to do with the Winter Festival?
Well, a little bird told me this week that the Oban Winter Festival group will be hanging or displaying a saltire from McCaig's Tower on Monday, so keep an eye out for that. If you can get some photographs, please send them in to us.
What's happening about parking, folks? I'm confused.
Hooray!
I can tell you what's happening about parking.
On you go, Ellis.
So, from the 4th to the 11th of December, car parking at off-street car parks that are run by the council will be free, and then that's going to be extended for a further 2 weeks between the 11th of December and the 24th. So essentially we're going to get 3 weeks from the 4th of December all the way up to the 24th. Now this is at off-street car parks. That's not the same as kind of sort of pulling up and sticking a ticket on it. It's in the car parks. And that's a bit of a festive boost to try and encourage shoppers.
Thank you. I'm much less confused about my parking now.
I had someone stop me yesterday asking about what do you call those plug-in parking top-up fuel things? What are they? You know, for electric cars.
EV,
What is it? Charging points.
EV chargers,
Charging points. Yeah. And I think there was one. I hope there was one in Tweedle Street because that's where I sent this poor chap.
There are two.
After explaining the one-way system.
Yep, there are two in Tweedle Street.
There you go. That was my good deed.
Well done.
For the week, so I can be wicked for the weekend. Talking of wicked stuff, have you got a wicked word of the week, Ellis?
Well, I don't know if it's wicked, but it's certainly very, very Scottish. As we all know, St Andrew's Day is coming up. But since this podcast has been relaunched, what we've tried to do every week is find an unusual Scottish word. And the word that I've come across this week is moggan. Does anyone know what moggan means? Have you seen my moggan?
Oh.
I'm not sure if I have or not, Ellis.
Moggan. Is it a hat?
Where's my moggan?
Is it a cat?
Oh.
You want to say cat, don't you?
Well,
It's an old Scottish word meaning a long sock or a stocking. So when Christmas comes, you can say, I'm going to leave a moggan out for Father Christmas.
How do we spell that?
So it's M-O-G-G-A-N, moggan. It's got a lovely ring to it, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has.
I'm sure I'm not doing it justice in my flat Cumbrian vowels, and it probably sounds a lot better said by somebody from
Stevie,
Scotland.
you could get one for your daughter, and then it'd be Megan's Moggan.
Megan's Moggan.
Oh.
Brilliant. Moggan.
Oh. See, pull up your moggans. That sounds better than pull your socks up, doesn't it? Pull your moggans up. Oh, I like that. Okay, that's
Pull up your
new words to my
moggans.
vocabulary now.
Don't leave
Pull up
your
your
moggans on the
moggans.
floor.
Oh, I hate that.
I found your moggan under the bed.
Put a Moggan in it.
I've got a hole in my moggin.
And it goes on. Talking of going on, you things that go on and on and on. Stevie, didn't you come up with a possible ringtone for folks that might do their heads in?
It will definitely do their heads in. While we were recording on Wednesday, our What's in this week's Open Times, or Wit-What as we call it in the office, my computer decided to crash just at an inopportune moment when you were all saying goodbye. Would you like to hear what it came up with? And to the point that it went on for a minute until I reset my machine.
Go on then.
It's torture. It's torture.
We're all ears. Bye-bye
Listen
now.
to this.
Bye.
Bye-bye now.
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 That went on for a long time.
Bye-bye now.
Too long, in fact.
Sound demented. We sound as though we're caged.
So for anyone who wants to have the three of you as a ringtone or a message thing, just email something for the weekend at opentimes.co.uk and I'll send you the MP3.
It sounded like we were lost in space. We were in a shuttle
Don't get
heading,
Stevie onto space talk, whatever.
We've already cut my space talk this week.
heading off into the galaxy. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye now. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Oh, talking of heading off, folks, that's us for this week. But you can get in touch with us by emailing somethingfortheweekend at obentimes.co.uk. You can send us messages, suggestions and comments on this podcast by emailing somethingfortheweekend at obentimes.co.uk. Just repeating that to make sure you've got it. We would love to hear from you. So that's it for this week. Send us your news, comments, photos to that address. Again, do I need to say it a third time?
Go on, Kathy. Go on.
For the sheer heck of it, something for the weekend at obentimes.co.uk. Why hasn't the BBC been calling me to offer me a job? Anyway, that's it. So also, you can read all our stories online because when we're not doing podcasts, we're churning out lots of great news for you. So you can read all our stories online at www.obentimes.co.uk. And you can subscribe to our page Turning Digital Edition there as well. So until next time, it's goodbye from me, Kathy Griffiths.
Bye from me, Fiona Scott.
Goodbye from me, Alice Butcher.
And goodbye from me, Stephen Day.
Here we go again. Goodbye now.
Bye.
Goodbye now.
Bye-bye now.
Goodbye
Bye-bye
now.
now. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye now. Bye now. Bye now. Bye now.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye now. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye now.